Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And I think I have my camera set straight and level now. I always think I have it in pretty good shape, and then I go live and it needs tweaking. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. Hello, Mom. Good to see you. Very cold Maryland. We are having, I think, perfect weather yesterday, today. High, barely reaching 70, maybe not even, but sunny and pretty. So that's perfect weather to me. And so today I'm going to show you a card. This is a little unusual for me. I'm showing you a card that I've already shown you on my blog a couple days ago. It is this pop-up pillar card, and it was one of the cards that we made in my Christmas card buffet the other weekend. And I've been going through and making up leftover kits to be ready for my final sale before Christmas at the Kensington Market on Sunday. And I thought it would be fun to show you how this fun fold card goes together, and it's really pretty. The actual card itself is very quick and easy, and it's the decorating that takes any amount of time. So if you are joining me, please do say hello in the comments. I like to see who's here, whether you're joining me live on Facebook this morning or watching on replay. I do love to see who has joined in either on Facebook or YouTube replay. So let's pull out the pieces for this card. Again, I'll show you from the top here. It makes this pillar, and it folds flat for putting in the envelope. So everybody who came to my class got to choose between 5 and as many as they wanted of 11 different designs, and this was one of them. And somewhere here I have, really, I organized everything. There we go. So this one was Cheers to You in the New Year was the sentiment, and I also gave them the option of Joy to the World. So we're going to make one that has this Joy to the World sentiment already gone. And I went ahead and pre-scored the card bases for everyone. So this is a standard long card base with a bit cut off, and then it's scored in a couple different places. And I will put measurements in today's blog post. And the best thing to do is to go through and use the bone folder to crease and burnish the scores. And you see how that's just going to fold right up and make that pillar? Super quick and easy. Oh, hi Paula. Glad. Well, I'm sorry it's slow. Hopefully it doesn't mean you're not having good turnout, but glad you're able to join us. So then we're just going to add 3 strips of Designer Series paper, and this one is from Peaceful Garden. You may, if you're paying attention, have noticed that a lot of the items from the September to December mini catalog have been added to the last chance list, and a lot of them are discounted, and I believe this paper is one of them. And I know Traditions of Christmas is one of them, and that here in Australia, I noticed last night it was low inventory. So if you want that beautiful paper, or this one, if you want any of them, I would not hesitate to jump in and order, especially because 10th, 11th, 12th free shipping with a minimum order here in Australia. That's $65 minimum order, and then you get free shipping, which is at least another, what, $6.95 or more, depending on how much and how much it weighs that you order. So that is nothing to sneer at. Okay, so that one goes on there. And this one, you have to check. These are only slightly different dimensions. See, that's the same width. So you just need to make sure you've got it going the right way. And I'm just going for an even margin all the way around. That's how I know my positioning is going to be pretty darn good. I got a little glue. Glue's out. Hate that when it happens. But that's why they've made erasers for it. And really, it just physically rubs that glue off. Okay. And this piece is going to go on there too, and that's a square, and you can see where that goes. And I'm not stamping on this piece, so I'm going to go ahead and stick it down. If I were stamping, I would stamp first, because I could always turn it over and try again, or even get a whole new piece of paper if I needed to. But I'm attaching things to it, I'm not stamping on it, so there it goes. Okay, so now we've got all of these pieces put on, and we just need to make the pillar. So that's how it goes. Okay, so I'm bringing in tear and tape. This card uses a bunch of tear and tape because it makes a nice, strong, non-messy bond. So, and it's called tear and tape because you can just tear it off where you need it. And I like to burnish it down either with my fingernail or my bone folder. That gets a really good seal. And then if you fold that under, then you just fold it closed and flat, and it goes right where it needs to be. And again, remember I said I like to burnish it to get a good seal. You can do it this way too from the back. And there's our pillar pop-up. So once you have those scores done and you cut all your paper, it's super, super easy. You can burnish that down again, make it lie flat. So now it's the fun decorating time. So I've already got this one stamped. And before you spend a lot of time looking through things to find this, I will let you know these 2 sentiments, well, it's 1 sentiment on 2 different stamps, but it comes out of an old paper pumpkin kit, so you're not going to find this anywhere current. I will mention in the blog post which one, in case you have paper pumpkin kits from 10 years ago. You can go back if you want to use that. But from Peace on Earth, part of the Peaceful Garden suite of products, we are going to cut 2 doves out of this piece of basic white. So I'm going to bring in my mini cut and emboss. Some people call it the baby boss as opposed to the big boss. Got those. And if it sticks in the die, you just take your pick tool, take your pick tool, and that's what the little holes in the dies are for, is to poke out what's left. And then we are going to, this is some of the Peaceful Garden Glimmer cardstock, and I put adhesive sheet on the back. That's what I was trying to show you here. I don't know if you can see, it's a slightly smaller square. And so I'm going to cut out one set of these stars. There we go. So how cold is very cold, Mom? I'm just curious. And there we go. 1, 2, 3. Didn't need that. And then I've got another piece of the glimmer cardstock here, and I'm using the larger of the two label dies from Peace on Earth. That is our die cutting. So these doves, if I were to just put them right on the white, that's the wrong one, but right on the white cardstock, it would be hard to see them. So I am going to actually bring in scratch paper and a blending brush with cloud cover, and I'm going to see how much ink is left on there from what other people did, because I may have just enough. I just want to add a little bit of color. It doesn't need to be too dark. No, it needs a little more. And here's my reminder to you. The full-size cloud cover ink pad, there was some sort of weird chemical reaction between the ink and the foam in the full-size ink pads. So they recalled the full-size ink pads, could not come up with a solution to the issue. The color just would shift, and it wouldn't shift predictably, and they decided the thing to do was to encourage people to use the Stampin' Spots, which have a felt ink pad instead of a foam one, with the refill, and that seems to work just fine. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I've got that little one there. I'm just putting a little bit of color on the wings and tail, and maybe a tiny bit on that side. But I'm always starting on the paper, because when you put it down, your brush is going to put a darker splotch, and I don't want a dark splotch. I want sort of an even bit of color. And I'm going like this just to really get the edge. Okay, that's all that needed. And I just use, what's this bag from? Oh, that's an old ink pad bag. Just when I put everything into a plastic box for my class, I don't want the brush getting ink onto anybody's kits. So I just put it in a bag to protect that. So now you can see it's just a little bit, and now it blends into the same color scheme, but it stands out from the stark white, and that's what I wanted. that out of the way. The other thing I'm going to do is bring in, where's my, there we go, cloud cover blend, because I don't like my doves flying blind. They just look weird. So I'm putting a little eye on each one. There we go. So let's do the decorating. Glue, liquid glue, my favorite adhesive, does not work on glimmer paper. It just will not stick. So again, tear and tape, and I really don't want my card coming apart when my recipient opens it up. So I'm doing 3 strips of this. Remember, I said burnish this on. So I'm just taking a moment with my bone folder, making sure that's down. And it means it doesn't pull up when I remove the backing. Teens this morning at 34 this afternoon. That would be 34 Fahrenheit for my non-American friends. That is cold. That is about 34. That's about 4 degrees Celsius. That's chilly for your high. That's often about what our low would be on the coldest days here in Melbourne. So, yeah. And again, burnishing it really well with this glimmer paper, and it is stuck on. It does not want to pull off easily. I am happy with that. So, this is going to go on here. Now, this can glue. So we will do, this side glues just fine. There we go. And then these are going to go on with some mini dimensionals. Don't like to do just one because I find that they can kind of pivot. Now I'm making sure when I position it that it stays within the card, but I can still see joy to the world. So telling you my thought process as I do this here so you can get a sense of what I'm... So here's where my 2 dimensionals are. So they're not hanging off here where this is going to overhang. And then this one is going to be wholly on the card, so it's not as big a deal. And the reason, even though this is technically kind of the inside of the card, we can put dimensionals easily is because there's no flap over the top of it, although that wouldn't be a deal breaker necessarily either. So there's that one, and I'm just kind of getting it into that corner. And now we pull off the backing on that adhesive sheet. Add one there. If you're having trouble, you can use your take your pick tool. I just didn't need to there. And there it is. So there's joy to the world. And cheers to you and the new year. Obviously, you could make this same fun fold with different designs on it for different occasions. That'd be no issue whatsoever. Yeah, it's fun. It's pretty easy. It shows off your designer series paper and lets you decorate with some fun die cuts. So, like I said, I will have the measurements on my blog. Be my next blog post, which you can find at nancysniftynotes.com. If you have any questions for me about this project, other projects, requests, if you need the new January to April mini catalog, I now have my supply. If you need one here in Australia and you're not working with another demonstrator, I'd be happy to send one to you. Just drop me a note at nancysniftynotes.com and I will get that to you. And I will be back same time, same place next week with another project. Have a great day and hope your holiday prep is going smoothly. See you next week. Thanks. Bye.